Anyone? No, Juan. Um, okay, Elia has a question. Or Leia, I don't know how you pronounce your name. Leia Jur, I guess. As far as tie-dye, do you think what tie-dye? Are you talking about the tie-dye in my Mind Only book? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Somebody has to translate the Chinese. Let me see. 是是 Xuanzang 有很多 oof. Yeah, I don't know all those characters. Someone has to translate it. Any other questions? Uh oh. Oh, how to learn in an orderly manner. Okay. Thanks for the translation. You just have to learn all of them. Um, you just have to take all the courses and learn all of them. It takes a little time, actually. There's a thing called Mahamudra, um, and that's just a class on the foundational thought of each school of thought. So that's possible. That could be a good way to start. Those courses are online. Mahamudra. Geshe teaches them. He's got a course on them. And yeah, yeah, what tie okay, here's the tie-dye thing. But what tie-dye? What do you mean? This tie-dye fabric? I don't understand the question. Yeah. I think you're referring to something specific, and that's what I'm asking. What are you referring to? Any other question? You can say them out loud.
老师好，人死后，老师说，在65分之一秒就投射出来下一个世界。那又有一个说法，说是要通过7七49天才能去投胎。那按照第一个逻辑是，就是在1秒钟以内就投胎了，进入到下一个生命。还有一个是要等7七49天。那这个逻辑第二个的话和第一个的逻辑是说不通的。谢谢老师解答。
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the regular channel. Can somebody translate for me? I didn't catch the beginning. Sheshe, thank you for your question. Did anyone catch it? No?
I'll help you.
Please, for English language, go to English channel.
It's
Sharon already tried to translate.
Thank you. It's too late for that. Dodo, can you translate for me, please?
Yeah, he was
Thank you.
basically saying that for some school or maybe for the high school, you flip into your next life within 1/65th of a second. But others might say that it would take another 49 days. So these they are contradictory to each other. What's your angle on this, basically?
Oh, yeah. They're okay, they're not contradictory. Yeah. I'll say more, don't worry. Uh it doesn't matter how many days it takes. because the karmic ripening itself, regardless of the amount of days, happens in 1/65th of a second. So the point isn't more or less days. The point is how things really work, which is a ripening of karma. So no matter how many days it seems or you see, what is happening is a shifting of the seeds appearing at the rate of 1/65th per second. And so even if it's 49 days, when it does shift, it is in 1/65th of a second that it occurs. No matter if it happened 1/65th of a second after the death or, 48 days and, 23 hours and I don't know, 59 minutes and I don't know, like that, 59 seconds and 64/65ths. The last moment, the last 65th would still be a ripening in 1/65th of a second. That's the point, not how many days it takes. There's no contradiction. 你明白吗？同意吗？
Thank you, 老师。
不客气。Okay, that was a good question. I like that one. I've never said it out loud before, but I've thought about it. Okay. More questions. This is the time to ask me questions. Not texting me.
I do have a discussion. May I?
Todo?
Yeah, that's me.
It's your personal discussion?
No, it's actually a follow-up question about the 65 seeds per kshana or per second.
Okay, yeah, there's like a million questions in the chat too, so
Yeah,
short
sure.
follow-up is fine.
You want me to go ahead?
Go
Okay.
ahead, yeah.
Okay, so I've been wondering if 65 is the ultimate worldview, because well, this is what we usually hear from the teacher. Within every 65th of a second, everything is static, right? Like you are just connecting dots instead of living in a stream of something. But if that is true, that means within that there's the smallest period of time in which everything is static. And that means we won't be able to detect any smaller amount of time than 1/65th of a second, something like that, Mhm.
It's not necessarily the case that just because things happen at 1/65th of a second, it can appear that things are happening in a more minute period of time that you witness in 1/65th of a second.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know.
Oh, it's true. You can see something appearing to happen in a millionth of a second in 1/65th of a second.
Well, can I put it another way? But if 65th in every 1/65th of a second things are static, that means motion is not continuous. Like, take light, the traveling of a light, for example. So it within 1/65th of a second, it goes a long way, right? So if in each 1/60th of a second, everything is static, that means light doesn't travel in a stream in the universe. It just flips from one place to another without anything, any continuous existence in between.
No, not necessarily. Kaba majum.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of things here, okay? Somebody asked me this question in September 2012. So I know this argument. It's pretty deep, but basically, 1/65th of a second is Abhidharma school. It doesn't have to be the ultimate. The ultimate is, and if you talk about light, light is the worst example you could use because light is both a particle and a wave simultaneously, according to physics. So it does not move. There is no indication that light moves. You can't directly witness light moving because it's based on the perceiver how light actually appears.
Well, how about a really fast spaceship?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fine. You always have the same problem. And Master Shantideva said, "Oh, well, are things like an army, like a big group? Or is that how it's happening? Or are the things happening like a mala, like consecutively? Which one is it?"
Well, I
And it,
have to say you can perceive things in both ways, like water, right?
both are impossible. Both are impossible. I'll briefly describe why. If things are sequential as discrete packets of reality, okay, we'll say as time, then there's no moment in which they can touch. And if there's no moment in which they touch, there's no flow and there's no continuity, and therefore nothing happens. Nothing can happen. It's actually impossible. It's impossible that things are happening at all, which is what Arya Nagarjuna said.
Mm.
Things do not start and things do not stop. Things do not come, things do not go. It's all impossible. If you think there's any self-existence to starting, stopping, coming or going, or happening, period, which means anything changing, anything happening, then it's impossible. There's no way to describe something as happening. Either, okay, and so what's the opposite? Hold on. I haven't had this argument in a while. So if things are just the present moment, right? They aren't discrete, if it is some kind of flow, then nothing can happen either, because the moment itself could never change to another moment, because it's just the moment. So either way, there is no flow of time or substance, physicality or temporality. Both are impossible. And they don't happen. Nothing is happening. Truly. It's just karma popping out and appearing to happen. And then you put it together via another seed as a thing occurring as a thing with some continuity to it. Contiguity, like togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I might need to sit on it.
No, seriously, if you think about it long enough, you could get very close to seeing emptiness.
I've been thinking about it like forever, but thank you.
Yeah, you just need shamatha then. Good question though. Yeah, I thought about that one a lot, about, I don't know, about, yeah, 13 years ago, ACI 16, he talked about it, or 17. Okay, good question.
Thank you.
Very good question. Okay. I'm looking at the chat. Somebody translated for me. Thank you. How can one contemplate emptiness and the emptiness of the three spheres every day? Oh, the best way is your own actions, I think. Because if you see emptiness directly, the thing you see is the emptiness of yourself, which is the most important emptiness there is. Because that's the one that causes all your suffering. The thinking you and your stuff, your house, your, I don't know, wife, your arm, your leg, your life, thinking those things exist self-existently is what causes all the suffering in the world, according to the Buddha. And so first you contemplate dependent origination. Oh, why is my next door neighbor so annoying? Why is my boss so angry? And then you say, well, that means I did something annoying or irritating, or I was angry. So therefore, my boss is empty of having those qualities, as is my neighbor. Okay, and that's the emptiness and dependent origination, okay? Which you usually should contemplate together. And then the three spheres is, okay, my boss is annoying. My boss is empty of being annoying. I'm empty of being annoyed. And the situation itself is empty of being annoying. Meaning, if a different karmic seed arose, right, dependent origination, then, then it wouldn't be annoying. That's why my boss either is not annoying all the time, or his level of annoying, or her level, or their level of annoyingness fluctuates. If it fluctuates even in 1 degree, that means it has to be coming from causes, because any degree of fluctuation means any difference means the power which is powering that difference is changing, right? So that's the three spheres. It's best to do it all day. It's, maybe not every second, but especially with things that are difficult, like strong mental afflictions. And eventually they'll stop being so strong, and you'll slowly and slowly get closer to Jorlam Tsupa, mastery, they call it, right? Where you can't go to a lower realm, you can't really do really bad things, and you're very close to seeing emptiness directly. Yeah. That's what I think you how you should contemplate emptiness and the three seers. All right. So someone has a question. Ananda Nhung Luao. Sorry if I butchered your name. How can I get an accounting job without the company cheating on taxes? What seed should I sow? I don't know exactly what you mean, Ananda. Like, how can you get an accounting job and not have to cheat on taxes because the company asked you to, maybe? Let's see. You should be honest to a fault. Okay, like extremely honest, and never cheat on your taxes. Okay. I think I overpay sometimes, but I would rather. I'm just like, I don't care. They cannot say I did not pay. I paid more. All right. Yeah, that's the seeds I would sow. Yeah. Especially with people like very close to you, like your mother, father, spouse,
Tickle, tickle.
children, etc. Teacher. Okay. Another question translated by Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. how to better help the elderly people in the family to go to a better world. Um, yeah, I don't know how, it depends on the person, okay? But with a lot of people, you have to trick them into doing good things for themselves. I don't know why it's hard for people to do good things for themselves. Like, I mean, I could figure it out if I thought about it, I guess, but like eating well and those things are hard for people sometimes. Um, so I would get them to let go of grudges, like help them let go of grudges. Anything like that, like being upset with people for a long time before they die. Um, of course, if they could just learn the pen or karma and emptiness or something, that's a given. But if they don't want to know that or they're not into this, yeah, just talk to them and get them thinking about these different ideas. Help them plant seeds by helping you, maybe stuff like that. Yeah, can you give me some money for this teaching, or can you try like I don't know. Yeah, could somehow support me in getting a teaching. That's a good way. Or make it about you, if they're like your family, they might be interested in you. Okay. Um, that's what I think. Okay, question 3. Sophie translated it, Sophie Huang. Somebody, I guess Emma asked, can you please explain the 3 spheres of the 5 spheres of emptiness taught by Kani and Borobudo? I don't know what Kanihla taught. I'm sorry. It might be the koshas. If you tell me what they are, then I can tell you. But maybe you're asking that. It could be the koshas. They don't usually say spheres for koshas. They say sleeves or something like that. Kosha means like a sleeve or treasury or something. I don't know. You have to tell me what she taught. I didn't go to that teaching. So I can't answer your question. I'm sorry about that. Vivian Ying translated, somebody asked, how to better plant seeds using emptiness. Uh, I like to call it not nots, not not, not not. It's not that things aren't one way. They're not that way, right? So, let me see. Yeah, I'm word, and but I'm not word, meaning I'm empty of being someone named word, okay? And I could be something else if I had different seeds. So if you think like that, you can think of powerful things can happen really fast. And so when you plant a seed, you dedicate it. Like, I don't know, say you want to get a partner or something, right? And then you are taking care of a lonely person, planting a seed like that. So after you take care of this nice lonely person in a nice way, you say, well, I'm not single in I'm not single self-existently, okay? I'm not my singleness, my lack of a partner is coming from my seeds. So I'm not single, right? I'm empty of being not single. Anyway, yeah. And then you dedicate it to that with the understanding of emptiness as you do it. Yeah. That's how I would plant seeds. Eventually it doesn't have to be so, I don't know, clunky. It's just like you just understand it a little bit and then that's the way it happens. You're like, okay, of course I plant a seed because nothing exists self-existently. And I want to have something to happen. Done. Okay, good question. Okay, someone asked, I guess Shantilin, I guess. Yeah. They asked how to better help the elder. Oh no, we already answered that one. Okay, sorry. Okay, we answered that. And that. Oh, okay. Here's another one from Choi Lee, maybe. Hi, teacher. I know you teach Chinese medicine. Can you briefly share with us the main theories? Does it use the elements of water, fire, wind, space, and earth in yoga? You want me to explain Chinese medicine briefly? Okay. No, it doesn't use water, fire, wind, space, and earth. It uses wuxing, the 5 phases, which are I don't think I can say them right in Chinese. I don't think I have the tones right, but they're water, shui, fire, hu, wind, feng, um, earth, di, and metal, jin. Okay. Uh, my tones could be wrong. I'm sorry about that. And they're 5 phases, and actually they're emptiness. The 5 phases are based on emptiness. Seriously. They're it's so the did I say I feel like I said something wrong. Not wind, wood. I apologize. Wood, which is mu, not wind. So the wood phase is the phase in which things start. Okay? And listen to what the ancients in Chinese medicine say. They say, how can a thing ever start? How can a literally how does a sprout ever become a sprout? So it's not it's not the sprout that is the energy of the wood element. It's the sprouting, which is impossible. Sprouting is impossible. Okay? That's what the Taoists say, right? They say everything's impossible. They say the Tao makes everything possible, even though it's impossible. Yeah. Tao means emptiness. Okay. It means nothingness. Okay. But it means emptiness. It means the nothingness that everything comes from. De means virtue, but it more literally means the things you do, like karma. Like whatever you do on the Tao becomes your life. Yeah. All right. I can't give a Tao Te Ching commentary right now, but that's my understanding. If you think my understanding is wrong, by the way, try to use another understanding. Seriously, it doesn't function. Not for the ultimate. But we can argue later if you want. Okay, good question. But Chinese medicine is quite vast, okay? There's many different theories. There's yin and yang theory. There's the 8 Bagwan, I don't know, 8 characteristics.
老师好，
Yeah.
如果是父母相当于在父母那里种种子，相当于在佛陀那里种种子。那佛陀既然有无数的化身，也就是说我住的房子和我的瑜伽垫，还有我的父母都很有可能是佛陀的化身的话，只是因为我的种子看不到他们是佛陀的化身，那么2500年以来的，从乔老师这样的教授，世界上应该遍布无数的佛陀了。 那我应该无数世的父母当中，我应该也学习了无数世的佛法。那为什么到现在我还没有成佛呢？既然我的对境是佛陀，我在无数世当中和佛陀学习，有可能那佛陀是我的父母，或者是有没有可能，那我未来的孩子也会成佛，所以通过这种对境的种种子，为何我的种子应该迫使我已经成佛了？谢谢老师。
Okay, thank you. I got the end on the English channel. Can someone send me the beginning of the question, please?
How basically he was saying anything can be or anything must be an emanation body of Lord Buddha. And since I've been in the cycle for millions of lifetimes, and I've been that means I've been following the Buddha's teaching for millions of lifetimes, including in forms of my the surroundings, my parents. And since I have been interacting with enlightened beings all the time and been planting seeds, why am I still not enlightened?
Because you also planted infinite seeds for bad things in those lifetimes. But the main problem is you haven't seen emptiness. That's the main problem. Seriously. Everything is the Buddha. It has to be. But not to you. To the Buddha, but not to you. Necessarily, right? So therefore, the only thing stopping you from seeing everything as the Buddha is the amount of good karma you have. And the only thing stopping you from having better karma is your understanding of emptiness. Yeah. And once you see emptiness directly, then no problem. Yeah, Buddha's everywhere. Until then, it's a little difficult. Yeah. But I know your question. I asked the same question. One of my teachers, I don't know, 10 years ago. Yeah. I had the same question. And what do you want to know their answer? Well, my question was slightly different. My question was, if everything is the Buddha, is everything could emanate as the Buddha? How come my physical body is not emanation of the Buddha? Because why is my physical body any different than anything else? The wind or a tree or anything. Right? I took it one step further. And they said, oh, well, the Buddha can't be suffering heaps, so it can't be your body. But if I didn't have suffering heaps, then the Buddha would be my body. Or I would be a Buddha in a Buddha body. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. Think about it.
我想直接开麦一个问题。
老师好，那为什么2500年的释迦牟尼老师佛陀他有呈现出来这个五蕴呢？
Yeah. I just heard, yeah, I heard 2,500 years ago.
He's
Sure, go ahead.
basically asking why Lord Buddha manifested as having the 5 heaps since 2,500 years ago.
Lord Buddha to you manifested as having the 5 heaps 2,500 years ago. To you, that's the key thing. Lord Buddha, what did Lord Buddha manifest as himself as having? We don't know. Everything we know is just our perspective, which comes from our karma. So the only way to change our reality is to change our karma. That's the only option. Cool. I know, it's annoying. It's a lot of work.
我想问老师一个问题哈，我听到 DCI 的老师说，直戒了空性以后还需要74成佛，但是我康妮老师在那个就是尼姑玛瑜伽里，如果是我们直戒了空性以后，我们可以一世成佛，就是一世成佛，就意味着那因为我们直戒了空性还是在第3道嘛，戒道，那一世成佛是不是就直接到无学道？那我们在尼姑玛瑜伽垫子外的这个，就老师说垫子上的1个小时，其实更多的是垫子之外的23个小时。你把慈悲和智慧用在生活中，那这个是不是我们所说的修的十地菩萨的菩萨道？修菩萨道直接到戒道吗？我想问一下老师，谢谢。谢谢翻译。
What's the question? I got
Well,
everything.
anyhow.
What's the question?
So in DCIG teaching,
No, I heard everything up until the last part.
oh, sorry.
No, no, thank you, Duodo. I listened to the question, but the last part, I didn't hear the
That part
translator.
basically is something about are we saying that in the Niguma yoga system we go directly from the path of seeing and climb all the way up the 10 bodhisattva levels to the path of no more learning?
Yes. Yeah, if you there's sutra way and there's secret way. Okay. But either way, in the lifetime you see emptiness directly, you could it doesn't have to take 7 lifetimes. It's just 7 lifetimes or less, meaning you could do it in that life too. 7 lifetimes or less. Okay, it's not 7 lifetimes, it's 7 lifetimes or less. All right. So you can do Lady Naguma yoga, which is kind of secret practice, or but you still have to meditate. But it will speed things up a lot. Yeah. But you'll purify a lot, which is difficult. Yeah. But you can do it in 1 lifetime. Either way, it's 1 life. And yes, you'll go to the last one, path of no more learning, the 5th path. Yeah. You have to work really hard though. Okay, good question. Good luck.
谢谢老师。
不客气。1 second.
谢谢老师。借由这个问题，我问一下，在第3道当中，7阶的讲义当中，因为老师说有一些金刚细胞会转化成光座的，那是否如果他说会像癌细胞一样扩散，那按照这样逻辑的推理来说的话，在见到的时候，整个人的身体血肉之躯就已经转化成光座了，那是不是已经就是说已经成佛了呢？谢谢老师。
Yeah,不客气. We have a Buddha here to answer questions. I don't understand the question exactly. Try something about like Can you repeat the question?
格西老师在7阶的讲义当中有写到，就是当触碰金刚世界的时候，有一些细胞会转化成光做的金刚细胞，这些细胞是不死的，而且它会像癌细胞一样扩散，遍布全身，那整个身体就转化成了光做的这个血肉之躯。那既然整个身体都转化成了光做的，那是否就已经在直见空性之后，当细胞比癌细胞扩散的速度还要快的时候，这些金刚细胞，那整个身体都是金刚细胞了，都是光做的了，那是否就代表着已经成佛了呢？
Oh, it doesn't mean we became a Buddha right after we saw emptiness? Or, no, not right after, but we're very close at that point. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, if we see emptiness directly, we are very close to having a body of light. And they call it stream enterer, but you can think of it like a conveyor belt or something. That means between you and your light body is unstoppable. It has to happen. Okay, it would just take a little bit of time, depending on what you do with that. And then yes, you will have a body of light. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, good questions. Okay, Elmira has a question. She says, for the law of karma states that if maybe the fourth law of karma, I don't know, if there's a seed, there will be fruit. Is it not contrary to this law that virtue is destroyed by anger? No, not necessarily. You can have an intervening force. Talked about that in the Lamrim like 10 years ago. It's just an intervening force. Like you can purify or something. But you'd have to do something to purify the thing. Yeah. Yeah, you can have an intervening force. Elmira.
Thank you very much. But we have the question is about we have the fourth law of karma, and
Yeah.
it says that if we plant something, we have fruit. It is a law, but also we know that we can destroy our virtues, our good seeds by anger. So is it we can destroy all good virtue by what we have done during very long time just by 1 second of anger. So is it not contrary for this
No.
fourth law of karma?
No, I just answered it. Intervening force. You can yeah. If
Yeah,
the
thank you.
fruit
Thank you
comes
very
up
much.
at the same time as you smash the fruit, then there's no fruit.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
That's what I think. It makes sense. Karma just means like what makes sense. It's just logic, cause and effect. Good question. All right. Okay. Question 12. If every track in the end leads to the ultimate track, middle way, then what do you think? How mind only's teaching you lead you to middle way's thinking hat? How does middle way lead to mind only? Mind only is middle way. They're all middle way. If you study all the, it's just like a step. Like if you have a staircase, is the first step on the staircase not the staircase? Yes or no? Anybody? Is the first step of a staircase not part of the staircase? How about that? No answer? Okay.
No.
The first step on the staircase is not part of a staircase?
No, the first step of a staircase is part of the staircase.
Not truly.
Of course it is. It's part of the staircase. So the Vaibhashika school is just the first step on your way to middle way or something. And mind only passes through there. If you're driving from Pennsylvania to Maryland, you have to go through Delaware. I mean, you don't. You could cut through Maryland, I guess. Right? It's just on the path, but it's the same. It's just foundational. If you look closely at the 6 gakjas, the 6 objects denied by each school, creating the Mahamudra practice, right? You can see the one above always encompasses the one below. So by the time you get to middle way, it encompasses all the thoughts below it. The one below is just a less subtle version of the one above, essentially. So, yeah, that's it. So, mind only is cool for fleshing out questions about middle way, actually. Yeah, because it talks about distinctions that aren't always discussed in the middle way text. That's all. But it is middle way. There's no real difference. They believe in a kunshi, which is middle way doesn't. But if you call yourself middle way, you still believe, and you haven't seen emptiness directly, you do believe in a self-existent mind to some degree. And that's kunshi. So mind only is a lot of your versions of middle way, my version of middle way. Yeah, that's just not, you don't completely understand it yet. I hope that answers the question. That's what I think after studying mind only for like 10 years or something. Okay. Do children choose their parents or do parents choose their children? Yes. That's what I think. It's both. All right, I don't see any other questions. I might have missed one though. Oh, the tie-dye question? Yeah. That's what I was asking you, Laya. What tie-dye were you referring to? Tie-dye as referred to in the Golden Key. Sure. Okay, so tie-dye is a handicraft. Okay. Do you think it's a kind of metaphor that emptiness is everything? I don't think so. She asks, do you think it's the tie-dye metaphor in my Golden Key book? Which, okay, I'll try to explain it. We don't have much time, but I think the original is from Master Vasubandhu, actually. They talk about tsigu. Tsigu is like an apricot seed.
No one wanted it this way. Joe Biden is a good man, a good American, a great president. But time and the burden of the office.
I think that was my computer. Random ads started playing. Sorry about that. Political ads. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, tsigu, apricot seed. Um, mm, yeah, it's saying, yeah, apricot seed. If you do a tie-dye thing with the apricot seed, then how the pattern displays itself is it's a metaphor for how things can manifest. And I haven't studied it in a couple years, I'm sorry. So I forget all the precise details. But do I think it is a perpetual motion machine? No, I don't think so. I think it's just saying that the way things manifest from one thing appears in various ways once that thing is broadcast on reality or something like that. Yeah, it's saying everything could be one substance, and it appears to be all these different things because of how when that one substance is manifest, it how it like how it manifests in a variety of like shapes, sizes, and colors. Yeah. Like light through a prism or something. Like white light through a prism will appear like red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. But it's still just the one light ray or something. So yeah, if you split light, then it looks like a bunch of different things. Yeah. Yeah. Good question. I have to review it to tell you more, but that's how I recall. All right. Good question. We only have 1 minute. We have one short question. Somebody put one in the chat.
感恩老师。
Wait,
格西
short.
老师有很多老师，那宗课吧也有50位左右的老师，还有龙树老师，他曾经也有一些老师。那他们的这些老师都有直见空性吗？他们有成佛吗？但是我们知道，就是格西老师已经直见空性了，但是教授格西老师的这些老师都有直见空性吗？谢谢你。
That's my answer. There's no self-existent version of reality. There's no story. There's no one story. It depends on you. All right? That's it. Everything depends on you. Even when you're learning the pen thing, you're thinking about a self-existent pen. Okay.